This video is about the Bojo River in Aloguinsan, Cebu. I'm here right now in the municipality of Aloguinsan, Cebu, and one of the most popular places to see here is the Bojo River. This is the Bojo River, which is 230 meters from the road. This is the Bojo River Nature Reserve, and you have to park here on the road and just walk this 230 meters walk towards the river. This is an awarded destination for being eco-friendly and sustainable park. So there's another welcome sign. It says, "Welcome to Bojo River." This is also dubbed as the Palawan of Cebu. Now I could tell you how much will be the entrance fee and other rules that they have here. Boardwalk fee is 20 pesos.
Morning, ma'am.
Per person na 20 pesos ga.
Yes, ma'am.
So the 20 pesos fee entrance will be for the maintenance of this bamboo bridge. Now this is the thing that they gave you when you're there. Full tour packages with food is 900 per head, minimum of 6 people. Lunch will be manok bisaya with kamunggay tanglad, and walk-in without food is 550 per head. Inclusion will be river cruise, swimming, and tumbler. This is regulated by the Aloguinsan River Eco-Cultural Tour. So this is now being developed and advertised as one of Aloguinsan's pride, the Bojo River. So you see on the way there, you'll be surrounded by the fields of nipa. This is the kind of leaves or like palm leaves that they use on the huts, kubo huts. The alternative roofing will be nipa, made of this kind of palm tree that's dried up and then intertwined. So it's quite a distance. We're still on the bamboo bridge.
Kailin. Na, maayo gyud ay. Danghag.
At the end of the bamboo bridge, you will see a sign that says Bojo River this way. And another pathways towards there. And I think that is where the terminal of all the boats that's going trekking towards the sea from the river of Bojo. Look, they also have here Aloguinsan glass bottom boat tour. And there being the 2016 top 100 sustainable destinations in the world during the World Tourism Day 2016. So for those people who has not discovered Bojo River yet, this is one of the places you can visit here in the province of Cebu, the Bojo River. So this is where the boats that's going trekking that you can hire towards the open sea. Aloguinsan belong ni sa Aloguinsan. So there's a bit short briefing before you. So short briefing about the history of the Bojo River. So it started in 2009 from the Eco-Tourism Office. Pila, sir? 1.4 kilometers long is the river.
So nag-start in 2009 ang project. Ang LGU ini nag-initiate, sila nag-funded, but nag-run operate sa tour ang community.
So it's the community, the real local fisherman is the one is operating around here for the pump boats or the boats. So so they're so local fishermen around here that used to just fish and then sell the fish, they are now concentrating on earning the Bojo River trekking. And as of now, because of the pandemic, it's also affected. So there are some of them are back to fishing. Okay. There's 100 species of plant and 24 species of mangroves around here. Okay, there will be someone that's pointing out to us where are all the mangroves. Flora and fauna. There's no snakes around here. So they have no crocodiles or snakes around here. So they are preserving all the flora for fish. So they have small snakes around here, but there's no big snakes because it's just the natural snake that lives around this mangrove area. There's a monitor of lizards. Sige, sir. Okay. So there will be a guide there on the okay. So always you have to have a life vest when you go in the thank you, sir, and then minimize voices while you're trekking the river. The best time to come here in Bojo River should have been on the high tide. But now it's just that it still can be. But I'm now just one here in the boat. So, hello, good morning, ma'am. So this is Maribek is the one that's sailing the boat for me. So thank you, ma'am. They're swimming. Some of the locals are swimming here. So the river mouth from where we are and the terminal of the boats is 1.4 kilometers. So the deepest mo na deepest, ma'am. The deepest is 3 kilometer. 3 point pila ma? 3 meters deep in the high tide.
Then sa river mouth,
In the river mouth pila?
8 meters.
8 meters deep.
Also na side.
All in.
Pinaka-low tide, ma'am. Tubig is taga-kiting na lang.
So like
Mulutaw lang ang sakayan, so di na po siya masakyan.
okay. So that's why you have to come here during high tide, because low tide means that the boat will not float.
Yes, ma'am. So ana nga time, di na po di mo dahot ang mga bisita, ma'am.
So ma-affected yun din yung. So during low tide, they don't accept any more river trekking. Ako lang i-interpret, ma'am, kay kuan. Para nag-invite ba kog mga kuan diri.
Sa diri sa river doon ay 24 ka mga different species sa mangroves.
So they have 24 kind of species of mangroves around here.
Kada mangrove po, ma'am, is mabuhay ni sila sa mga brackish and salty water.
Rock and salty water are the mangroves habitat.
Sa 24 ka mga different species, so kabalo may mga local names ug mga scientific name niyo, ma'am.
Okay, so they all, kamo mga local sa diri, no? They know all the local scientific name and the local name of each species of mangroves.
So usa na siya sa variety sa mangroves na.
This one.
Yes, ma'am. Local name niya is bakawan lalaki.
So this is one kind of mangrove called bakawan lalaki.
Alright, Sephora apiculata ang yung scientific name.
Sephora apiculata.
Wow. So, yung ilhanan nga nung lalaki siya, kay gasagaran mo, tarang lalaki mo ni siya.
Oh, why is the mangrove called male?
Ang pinaka-udlot niya, ma'am, is puwa o color.
So the male, this one, bakaw lalaki means that bakaw male, the tip are red.
Then ang differential po sa babae, ma'am.
So the difference with the female bakaw,
ang pinaka-tip leaf niya is may pagkaputi-puti ang color.
so the tip is whitish.
Then ang kaniyang dahon is ang sa lalaki gagmay siya, ang sa babae is medyo dagko-dagko.
So the female got a wider kind of leaves than the bakaw that for men. The male bakaw.
So, pinaka-high tide mo, abot anang bridge.
So the high tide, you can see there that the bamboo bridge that they put in there will reach there, right on the bottom where the green. Mula pa sa ma'am.
Oh, ma'am.
Sometimes it will even go over the overflow and drown the bridge.
So kani pong mga nipa, so sa ka-variety sa mangrove.
So the nipa, where they use it for here in the Philippines, they use it as alternative roots for kubo. You know, the leaves that someone is asking, can you do a feature of the leaves that use as roofing? This is it, the nipa.
Nipos proticans ang scientific name niya, ma'am.
Unsay nga ka?
Nipos proticans.
Nipos protican is the scientific name for this nipa used as roofing for bamboo kubo.
So sa left side sa ma'am, another variety po nasa sa mangrove.
This left side here. This is another variety of mangroves.
Saging-saging.
So saging-saging, banana.
Yes, saging. Kaya ang iyang bunga, ma'am, magpungpong man siya.
No, because they got like their fruits is like aggregates.
So kanang iyang bunga, ma'am, og magwang na siya. Matagak na siya sa tubigan, nila to siya padung sa lapukan.
So when the so the fruits of this saging will just drop on the water and then they grow up from the water.
So maang pinaka-abundant diri kining mga saging-saging.
So this is the most number in Bohol is this saging, this kind of mangrove.
Hindi, pareha sa katong bakawan lalaki, ma'am. Babae o katong bakawan bangkaw. Tulo ka klase ang bakawan. Katong ihang bunga, matong kinahanglan yun nga itanom.
So the bakawan, the bakaw type of mangrove, you need to plant it. Not just wait for it to be planted and nurtured. Kinahanglan yun siya buhion, ma'am, ang bakawan.
During low tide, ma'am,
Ting sa bakaw.
High tide or high tide, inig matagak tong iyahang bunga, di siya mulutaw ra siya, ma'am.
So that's why you have to nurture the bakaw seedlings because they will float away They don't just easily root down to the water area.
Karistong dapita, ma'am.
This is
Ko diha og kanyetis dungguan.
Kanyetis dungguan.
Kaya ang kasagaran namo nga mga mananagat diri ma'am is mga kanyeti.
So that was the Kanyeti family is the one that's the big families around here. So that is where all the fishermen belong to the clan, dock their boats. So this is going to the open sea. Open sea nagdito atong tumayman. So we are going to the open sea.
Ano siya ang bakawan babae man kanina bunga.
The one with like strings of fruit strings there. That's the bakawan, female bakawan. So what's amazing around here is the actual people that's sailing you around with their boats will tell you the history, the nature of floras around the mangrove area, the kinds of mangroves around here, and they're quite familiar. That's why they can brief you on it as well. And at the same time, the actual locals know their floras and faunas that's found here in Aloguinsan Bojo River.
Ang mga pong lugar nga buho, ma'am, is mga po ni pinaka-importante nga lugar sa kasikip na mga kabaryuhan o kalungsuran. Kay during World War II,
yes,
kaning lugar na mo, hindi mo ni siyang taguanan sa mga tao. So, tungod sa kalabong sa mga mangrove, adto sila manago sa mga punuan sa mga mangrove. Kaya matugba sa mga katiguangan sa una, ma'am, nga dagko kay ni mga mangrove sa una, ma'am.
So the history here in Bojo River is it's the most important river for all the surrounding municipalities and cities and towns, because during the World War II, this is where the locals hide from the Japanese invaders and the war area. They are living here around the mangrove area, which according to her, their elders tell them that the mangrove used to be so much bigger than what they see right now. And that's where the people can easily just reside around here in the mangrove area away from the war zone. Migaga, no?
Karing dapita po mo, gitawag po dahil sa left side ay
Asinan family.
Kaya before manggod, ang panginabuhin sa mga tao, after na sa Japan, is na maglipit asin.
So Asinan, that one. So that one is called where Asinan means salt area.
Nagimos lang man na si.
So they, so there.
So dito sila magluto og asin.
That's where they make salt there, where they have to boil the water. So they pitch salt water and then boil it there and dry it there to make salt.
Makita nga kanang mga pinakadagko nga mga mangrove, so kailangan na klase sa kahoy kay pag nila asin is diha.
They also cut the trees to boil, so that's why the big mangroves has been used as firewood in before. It was during the time that the cutting of mangroves was still not prohibited. That's why those people that used to make salt cut off the big mangroves.
The dead end of the river, ma'am.
Such the dead end.
Diha ko lidak sa ilahang mga sakayan, ma'am. Kaya ang mga mananagatang ari ra gid sila sulod gawas sa ilaing agyanan.
So all the fishermen that goes out in the open sea always have to pass through this river track, so they can duck into the areas that they can be hidden out from the storms, or they can just duck it in safely.
Kini pong pointed up nga sa left side, ma'am.
Left side gani?
Ang nag-pointed up na gamot sa mangrove, ang tawag mo siyang tawag nga pencil fruit.
So those like those sticking out from the ground, pencil roots.
Di na siya makatunok, ma'am. Kung matamakan na siya, mo-bounce na siya.
So it's flexible. You can just step on it, it will just stand back.
Once pinaka-high tide, ma'am, or high tide, mutaog siya, ma'am, is Nakawa na siya sa tubig dagat, man magproduce og bubbles.
Oh, so when during high tide, this is the one that you see on the river that produces bubbles. Most na ma'am, no?
O kana siya, lahi po na siya nga
That's a different species.
kana siya. Cone root,
Corn root.
cone.
Cone root.
Pero siya ko pa sa ice cream.
Ah, okay. Like cone, ice cream cone.
Siya nga,
Pagatpat ang local name.
ana siya.
Ah,
Kanang gamot na sa pagatpat.
so that's our local name for it. It's pagatpat.
So, kani sa variety plus mango, ang local name niya is bungalon.
Bungalon.
Agusinha marina. Yan ang
Agusinha
nakita.
marina.
Gitawag po na siya og River Delta.
Wow, River Delta.
So,
This
ang
is...
current sa tubig dagat ug tubig sa tubod, diri sila mag-abot. So, mga nakita.
So the current of the river and the current from the sea will meet here. So that's why it's called the River Delta.
So, kanisan mo na level mark sa tubig sa pinaka-high tide.
So the line that you can see there, that is the level of the during high tide. It's quite big, no? Unsa man to? Oh,
Yung kanila sa nga nakita na to karon, ma'am.
ani?
Daghan kay mga unggoy sa unang diri, ma'am. Pero sa karon mo na yung gitawag na og lasang sa mga nahanaw nga mga unggoy.
Used to be in like habitated by a lot of monkeys before. But now-
tungod sa panghitabo nga nahitabo diri mga dunay nag-treasure hunting.
Aha.
Nagto ang mga tao nga
So-
makita treasure.
Oh.
Kusog ng mga pagpabuto, mo itong ibasis sa gabuho nga nahadlok ng mga unggoy, ato nga nang lalin sila diring nakita. So wala kita bisag usa.
Oh, so the monkeys have now disappeared because a long time ago during the treasure hunting around this area, which believe that there's a lot here in Boho, the monkeys are all like agitated and they're scared of all the blasting that's happening with treasure hunting when they blast all these different areas of the mountain. So right now, wala na yung unggoy diri, ma'am, no? There's no
Bibilin ka na sa mga likod. Joke.
there's no more monkeys can be found around this area anymore.
Oh, sige na sa picture mo.
Aun niya ra eh.
Wala, kita river mouth.
This is the river mouth of Bojo River.
Sa Atbang is another island, ma'am. Ano siyang Negro.
Negros, that's where like you go to unsa na eh? Gihulngan. Gihulngan is Negros.
Nakita, ano. Naklaro ang baba sa mountain laon kay clouds.
Yeah, but during clear day, you can actually see the tip of Mount Canlaon volcano. So you can see how low is the tide right now, if considering that's the level of what you expect during high tide.
Kaya nga dagat, gitawag siya og canyon.
Canyon Strait. So this is the Canyon Strait that's be meeting with the river.
Tampilado po din nakita, ma'am.
So it's very deep. So it's quite like a big drop there on Canyon Strait.
Itong panahon sa hapon, kaya nila gidumbot ang ilang mga dagko ng mga barko.
So during World War II, that's where the Japanese dock there in Canyon Strait their big warships. Nanalagay ng isda diya, ma'am. There's someone fishing there.
Okay na na siya, basta dili na sila magamit o mga
Ah,
nadagintag mga tamban.
oh.
Sardinas to.
Oo.
Sardines.
So,
Kita po din mga ligo, mga bisita o ganahan sila mga ligo.
so if you opt for the swimming, because I'm only just availing for that river trek, but you can also swim around this area that you will be looking at the island of Negros, and you will be looking at the meeting of the river to the Canyon Strait. And what you're looking ahead is some local fishermen that's allowed by the ecotourism office to fish here, as long as they're not using nets. Kanara ilahada kanang pasul-pasul lang. So you're only allowed to do fishing poles and the local, what they call it, bira-bira, pulling, just throw their nylon strings and they can.
Diri nga part, ma'am, dili itong Hermit Cove.
This is the Hermit's Cove.
Diri nga side, ma'am.
Dire?
Sa left side lang.
Left side. That's the Hermit's Cove. Why call nganong Hermit's Cove man, ma'am?
Hermits, ma'am, kay before. Bitaw ni Hermits kay ang tanang. Okay na, balik-baking sa ma'am.
Oh, sige, sure. Bawd na kay kuyawan ko. So the tide is really shaky and we are just doing paddling. So we can go back down now. Ang uban mo ato Hermit's Cove.
Oo, ma'am. Kaya na po magamit sila o glass bottom boat.
So
Biyahe lang to sila og high tide.
Okay.
Kaya mo kagyad man sa mga corals, ma'am.
So also that's why it's a must that you have to come here during high tide because you can hire the glass bottom boat that won't sail if it's low tide like this one because it's bigger than this wooden boat. Now we are turning around. Okay ra ma'am? It's shaky. Lagi. Diyos ko. Okay. So this is the way back. Though the waves are calmer here, and there it's quite rough, so like it's shaky for a wooden boat like this.
May variety sa mangrove na
Left side yapon.
ang local nila pareho siya.
Kanang murag buwak.
Ang yang daw sinaw siya, ma'am.
So there's another variety of mangrove that's like a flowery thing there. Tiga say kuan local. What's the local name for that one? Gapas. So they have the sort with shiny leaves. Okay. So we'll be waiting for them. Then we can go together on the trip with the other.
So before, ma'am, daghan sa wala pa gid ang association, daghan mga wild orchids.
Around here, there used to have lots of wild orchids.
Panguha sa mga tao, ma'am, kay baligya sa sidad na.
So the local people are harvesting the wild orchids to sell. Nya karon so it's now prohibited by the association of the ecotourism group because that should have been part of the sceneries around here, the wild orchids that you see growing on top of these hills.
Sa kuan, ma'am, sa una, ma'am, kalbo ni among bukid.
Mao ba? Unsa man pag-access diha? Musaka ra gid diha.
Kuan na mag-uling sila sa una dili. Ulingon na nila.
Pero musaka sila asa, ma'am?
So kitas likod, ma'am.
Oh, so they go because it's connected to the land from the road on the other side. That's where they go up from here.
So plain naman na sa babaw.
Flat din sa baba. So it's flat on the top.
So before noon, ma'am, wala ang mga tao, so wala pa migid nga na-educate. Manguan diri karang mangulin.
So, yeah. A long time ago.
Wala pa man nga ang government ato bali wala pa man ang kaning nagpan ba, ma'am. So pero pag na-jud na-educate na nga mo to nga
Di na gyud paulingan, ma'am. So now that people are aware, they're being educated by the local government to preserve nature. So what you see, so asa diri wa nay mag-uling, ma'am?
Nasa mga lagyo-lagyo, ma'am.
Only in far distance forest that a charkling is allowed, but not much anymore. It's limited. So the people here are now being educated by the local government, the environmental office, that they need to preserve the nature, the flora and fauna of the place, because that is where our lives depends on it. Like during typhoon, there will be no landslide if the trees are preserved, and the animals will be thriving in their own ecosystem.
Rock formation, ma'am.
Kana?
Rock formation niya po mo siya art. Kudantay ka.
Oh,
Matod ba sa among katiguangan, mga diha sa
This
unang
is-
panahon,
mhm.
huwanan.
so this rock for
Wall.
yeah, this rock formation here, according to folk legends, this is like where they borrow things, huwamanan og mga butang sa mga engkanto.
Yung nga sa kaliwata nga ang pangalan niya si Maria Tangan.
Ah,
Sa mga tao diha manghuwa mo nga lang photo. Boda sa kasal, gamit sa kusina, o na-fiesta mo tapos silang lugar. Pero ang
oh,
pamaagi sa paghuwa, ma'am, is muswat sila sa dahon sa saging. Kaya pumuntay
papel.
papel,
Mm.
dahon sa saging din. Butang nila after sa ilang gusto mo, iswat nila sa dahon din. After 3 days, ihatag na sa diwata.
Oh, so there's a goddess that used to live there, spirit. What is like kakita sa diwata?
Wala na siya, ma'am.
They just write their requests, because there's paper is so scarce before. They write the request on a banana leaf and just leave it there. Ilang ibilin diha.
After 3 days, ihatag na lang.
So after 3 days, they come back, and either they borrow wedding gowns or plates for your feast, and then
Sarah, tenedor.
yeah, utensils, cutleries. They will just leave the request there, and when they go back 3 days later, the actual things that they want to borrow is left outside this rock they called Huwamanan, where the place to borrow. Kana gyud, ma'am, oh.
Adi hindi pitaw nahitabo tong pamblasting, ma'am.
Oh.
Mga tumalang lalit ang mga anggol kaya.
Oh, so that is where the treasure hunters are, blasting the mountain looking for gold. So the monkeys disappear because of this constant blasting of the treasure hunters.
I-continue to na ko ang kasi sa
Humanan?
Sumod to tungod ato nga hatag bag tungod ato nga panghitabo kay ang mga tao di naman giulit og lagi man.
Oo.
Giundang na lang ang pagpahuwang. So wala ingon nga gihatagan sila og mga silot sa katunang huwang nga gauli. Matud po sa among katiguangan mga abli na sa una, nagisira na lang kay tungod nga wa man sila nag-uli sa ilang.
So according to the legend that before it's like an open rock here on that formation rock that you can see on the screen, and the people that keeps borrowing things from this goddess or the spirit goddess that they believe that lives on this rock was annoyed that suddenly one day the actual rock closed. So this is what you can see now, that it's closed and nobody can borrow things anymore. Nakay ipakita ng diwata diha, ma'am? Wala siya nakakita.
Wala. Ako ma'am kanang nalang ni wala pud mi ako nakatry lang ko naka-guide ko kausta mga live bisita na ako nga wala sila kita sa kanang diwata pero kanang lain ba nga hanggang may nga madindi kay third eye daw nila ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Ako mulabog na asim ko kahadto ko kay di mo si ati taga Mindanao ko ati na ko third eye. Kabantay ka ati nga ni maho o kanang hili daw sa baboy. Ano ko wala man ko. Wala sa rin siya. Kuan ko
a fisherman with a boat. So she was telling me that one time she has a passenger who said to her he had third eye, and then she can see. Unsa man yung makita ko no, ma'am? There's a lot of dwarfs around here. She is pointing to her. Look, another dwarf there. Another dwarf there. You know. So the really tiny people like Lilliputians, but they are not evil. He was telling her. Preserve. Because these Lilliputians or dwarfs or duende, like another folklore figures here in the Philippines, are these creatures here are so called happy that the people are prohibited now to destroy the nature around here. Instead, they are encouraged to develop, encouraged to plant more if they can. But they're just fishing through their strings, no nets, to make sure that the fishes will thrive. So very, foreigner ang inyong mga kuan, mag-English pud mo. When there's a foreigner, as I was asking if the passenger is a foreigner, how can you tell them the dialect, that the story that you're telling me in English? They said that they're using the English that they have treasured in their brain. So that's the dead end. Then nagpuyo sa diha, ma'am.
Wala siya, ma'am.
It's just only, nobody lives there. That's why I'm asking. It's only for docking the wooden boats. So that's the salt making area.
Nag-launch si June 14, 2009. So, ma'am, 12 years na nga mga association, ma'am.
Okay. So this started in 2009. They're now in existence for 12 years, offering this kind of river trekking for the tourists here in Aloguinsan. So you can see here that the locals are swimming by the river, and this is the area where all the palm boats are docking that you can hire for the day. So every 3 months mo magkuan, ma'am, no? Every 3 months clean up.
Once a month.
Once a month they clean up. That means that they clean up the river and they clean up the mangroves for any dead leaves and all that. So it will be still good looking for the guests. Moni siya glass bottom boat. The glass bottom boat, that's a different fee if you hire that. Guruyon ka dito. The rope is what she's avoiding. Okay. So they will just pull us there. So there will be like 100 water flowing towards this big river water source. So I now arrived. This is the way to come in and out of the River. Thank you so much, ma'am. So this is the vicinity of the Bojo River, and here is all the life vest area, and also here this is where you pay your fees. It's different fees for the season. Like during tourist season summer, they expect more people here, and so the fees go up. And here is the different certificate of registration, and like I will be having all this displayed: business permit, sanitary permit, environmental permit, fire permit, and there the BIR, and they have Baitas, Bojo Aloguinsan Ecotourism Associations, and then all the awards that they have received. So this is the Bojo River trekking adventure.